And I wish I was 1/10 as eloquent as John Nichols is in talking about the Constitution and what's been happening in our country and what is truly at stake in this election. 18 years ago, I was in this room receiving my degree from the University of Maine School of Law. I graduated from college, and no issue motivated me more in public service than civil rights and civil liberties. I joined the NAACP shortly after college and went to law school largely because of belief in using a degree to protect civil rights and civil liberties. And becoming a lawyer, I took an oath to the bar in both Maine and New Hampshire. But I also was elected during law school. I ran from the town of Kittery, where Dean and I grew up. And believe it or not, I was only the second Democrat elected there since the Civil War. And I took an oath of office. And that oath has always stuck in my mind. It was the oath to uphold the state constitution and the federal constitution. And that's the most important oath any elected official takes. If you saw the editorial that's being passed around that I wrote about impeachment, you'll see that in that article I talk about how that oath supersedes any political decision you make while in office. That oath to the Constitution is the primary oath you take. No issue has motivated me more in getting into this election than what has gone on. Since I left the legislature, I was elected district attorney in York County, and I took an oath to the office. And part of that oath is to aggressively prosecute the laws of the state. But part of that oath is to uphold the Constitution in this state. When we think of the Constitution, we think of the Bill of Rights as protecting us. It doesn't protect us from each other. It protects us from the government. Exactly. That's what the Bill of Rights does. The First Amendment puts a responsibility on me to protect your right to free speech. The Fourth Amendment puts a responsibility on me to protect you from unreasonable search and seizure. The Fifth Amendment puts a responsibility on me to protect your right to due process. The Sixth Amendment puts a responsibility on me to protect your right to a speedy trial. Excuse me, the Eighth Amendment puts a responsibility on me to protect your right to be free from cruel and unusual punishment. And the 14th Amendment puts a responsibility on me to protect your equal protection under the law. If I go to Congress, these will be my primary focus to protect your rights under the Constitution and hold those who break it accountable for that. Thank you.
Well, thank you all very much. Thank you for organizing this event. All of you who have been around this issue for a while, been very vigilant around this issue. I want you to know I appreciate that very much. And I just want to personally also thank John Nichols. I think we all feel very privileged to have the opportunity to hear him speak and for all the work that he's done on an issue that's sometimes left out there and nobody wants to touch it. I've had the privilege of working with John on a variety of issues around media consolidation and a whole host of issues that are about protecting our democracy. And I just want to say they don't come much better than John. I'm not trying to talk up to him tonight. I know he cares deeply about finding the best candidate, whoever that is, me or someone else, so I just want to say he does great work, and he's truly a reporter's reporter. I mean, not too many people would be reporters and write about what he does and also criticize the medium that he works for, the media, and what he's done has been incredible. So thank you for that. And I will just briefly say that if any of you haven't watched the moment on Bill Moyers, when he and Bruce Fine, the conservative Republican attorney, talked about this issue. For me, I think it was last July, that was the moment when I started to understand that this is not about the strategy of how Democrats are going to win their way to the White House. This is about a teachable moment for this country, as we had during the Watergate era, making sure that people really understand what it is when a president overreaches his powers. Every issue that John has talked about, that we've talked about tonight, I believe the president has committed impeachable offenses. I don't have any question about that. Leading us into war under false pretenses, illegal wiretapping, arresting people and putting them in foreign jails, suspending the writ of habeas corpus. I mean, I think we all know what this is. But this isn't about this moment. It's about making sure that the American public has the right and the ability to understand and hear what's going on in our country. And that, I think, is why we're here tonight. And that is why it's so essential that all of us who want to be members of Congress are here to talk to you tonight. Because this is about Congress backing down on its duty. About Congress not agreeing to hold those hearings. And not allowing all of us to have that moment to examine what went on and to go further than we've even been able to talk in this room, or that John was able to write about in his book. Nancy Pelosi was wrong. She said this issue was off the table in 2006, and Congress has been wrong in not moving forward on this. And there's just two things I want you to know tonight about me, because I think what you're deciding here is about who will elect for Congress. I only have 2 seconds to tell you that. But I would right now be calling for those hearings. I would be signing on. I disagree. I don't see myself as a vehicle. I see myself as someone who runs for office and lets you know where I would stand on this issue. I have always been willing to say, I'm here to stand in front of these issues, whether they're popular, whether they're difficult, whether they're going to be easy for Democrats. That's what we're lacking right now in Congress, and that's what we have the opportunity to change here in the 1st Congressional District. There couldn't be a more important time in our